The problem is that in some sense, the threat is implausible and in a very kind of real sense. So what's happened is if you do fink out on me, if you do cross that line, the idea that I will then spend the rest of my days punishing you, foregoing reward myself, right, not taking a best response against you, seems kind of crazy. Do you agree?
Yeah, again, my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I totally get this.
No, I'm saying that nobody would do that.
Right. So it would be like being in an elevator with a stick of dynamite and seeing that someone has $100 and saying, give me your $100 or I'll blow us both up. That's not really a reasonable threat because the alternative to me not giving you $100 is you die, which seems probably not worth it.
That's right. So you can think about the possibility of, okay, I'm going to not give you the $100. You say that you're going to blow me up, but you will hurt yourself more than you hurt me, so it won't be a best response. Not blowing me up and just not getting the $100 and leaving the elevator is better for you than blowing me up.
Right.
So that is an implausible threat. So the way that we formalize this idea in the game theoretic context is to say that we're interested, a plausible threat corresponds to something that's called a subgame perfect equilibrium.
Okay.
So subgame perfect means that each player is always taking a best response independent of the history. All right, so let's actually look at a concrete example here. Let's imagine playing Grim Trigger against Tit for Tat. So my first question to you is, are these two strategies in Nash equilibria with each other?
Yeah, I guess so.
And why is that?
Because the fact if one player is playing Tit for Tat, then the Grim Trigger thing doesn't matter anyway because both of you are going to cooperate forever and it doesn't make any sense to deviate.
Right, so any strategy that I could choose that's different than Grim Trigger is going to, on average, do no better, possibly worse.
Right.
So I might as well stick with Grim Trigger. And Tit for Tat has the same kind of feeling about it, that it's cooperating with Grim, and it can't really do anything better, so it might as well do that.
Right.
So the next question to ask is, are these two strategies in a subgame perfect equilibrium with each other? And the way that you actually test that is you say, well, they are not subgame perfect if there's some history of actions that we could feed to these machines so that here's what Grim is doing. It's some sequence of cooperates and defects, and here's what Tit for Tat is doing. It's some sequence of cooperates and defects. And once we've reached some particular point, is it the case that one or the other of these machines is not taking a best response, that it could actually change its behavior away from what the machine says and do better than what the machine says? If that's the case, then it's not subgame perfect. But if it's the case for all histories, they're always taking a best response, then it is subgame perfect. So do you see a sequence of moves that these two players can take where one or the other of them is not going to be doing a best response?
It's can take, right? As opposed to will take.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do either, which is why I asked the question. It's not a made-up history. It's like an actual set of moves that are consistent with Grim and Tit for Tat?
No. So it is not necessarily. So we know that if we actually play these against each other, the only history that we're going to see is
cooperate forever.
Right. Grim is going to do cooperate. Tit for Tat is going to do cooperate.
Right.
And so they are, and everything's fine. The question is, can we actually go in and alter the history so that one or the other in the machines could take a better action than the one that the machine tells it to take?
Yeah, if Tit for Tat ever does a defect.
All right, so let's take a look at that. So let's say on the first move, Grim cooperates and Tit for Tat defects. Okay, so let's say that that's the moment in time. What will the machines do at this point?
Well, at this point, the next time step, Tit for Tat will cooperate and Grim will defect.
Good, and then thereafter?
Grim will always defect.
And then Tit for Tat will always defect.
Right.
So the payoff that Grim gets at this point is going to be, well, initially high, but then very, very low. On the other hand, could Grim have changed its behavior to do better than this?
Yeah, just by doing, just by choosing to cooperate.
By choosing to cooperate. So sort of ignore the fact that Tit for Tat did the defect and instead do a cooperate here, then Grim would do better. So the idea is that Grim is making a threat, but when it comes time to actually follow through on that threat, it's actually doing something that is worse for itself than what it would do otherwise. Do you see that?
I do.
So is it subgame perfect? No. And the proof of that is exactly what you said. Take a look at this history. Here's a history where Grim would not be willing to actually follow through on its threat.
Right.
So it's an implausible threat, and that's bad. So maybe we've now just undone all the awesomeness that we had done.
No.
Well, maybe. I mean, the awesomeness was, hey, look, we can actually get machines that are in Nash equilibrium, and they're cooperative in prisoner's dilemma, so they're actually kind of doing the right thing. And it turns out, well, they are, but they're depending on this notion of implausible threats to do it.
How should I feel about that?
Well, let's see if we can fix it.
Okay.